there, I wish you the best. So you all out there, I need for you to know that you are good people. Have this in your mind that I am a good person, and Nigeria is a great country. Yes, we have challenges, but without going through those challenges, there will not be a reason for us to have testimony and jubilation. Once again, you're welcome to the program, Renewed Hope Agenda, the way forward on Radio Live. My name is Sam Atasio Oburu, and I'm going to bring on my guest to you, but I'll keep him a little bit locked up for the now, and we'll go right into our inspirational moment by Kemi White Levi. She sent this in. Our Independence Day, we reflect on our journey. Let me take it from the beginning. Arise Nigeria, the renewed hope is here. On our Independence Day, we reflect on our journey. Challenges have tested our resolve, but we remain unbroken. We have faced darkness, but our resilience shines brighter. Don't give up on Nigeria. We have made progress and there is still hope. Believe in our strength, our diversity, and our spirit. Together, we can build a brighter future, overcome adversity, achieve greatness. Nigeria will rise. Let's unite, work together, and forge a better tomorrow. The renewed hope is here. A new dawn breaks. Happy Independence Day, Nigeria. So that's what it is. Now, we're moving on to the next segment, and I'm going to tell you, it's a very loaded edition. This is the quiz time. I have to ask a quiz now. The first person to send in his answer will win a certain prize for the day. So I'll make it easy and light on us this time because it's our inaugural broadcast. Who designed the Nigerian flag? That's the quiz. Who designed the Nigerian flag? On that note, we'll take a break. When we return, I'll unfold who my guest is. It's a big wing because we have to diversify the economy. We have to look for another way to grow the economy. We have to look for another way to increase our GDP. It's not all about oil. Before oil, we were Nigeria. We'll take a break now.
President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. It is geared towards renewing the hopes of Nigerians for a better future through its policies, projects, and programs that are aimed towards lifting the GDP and economic growth of the nation by improving standard of living of the average Nigerian. The Renewed Hope Agenda Radio is poised to promote all of the above while enlightening Nigerians as well. Join us every Tuesday afternoon, 2 p.m. on Citizen FM Radio. 93.7 Labor House, Central Business District, Abuja. Renewed Hope Agenda Radio on 93.7 FM. The future starts today.
We believe in this nation, and
Hello, you're welcome back again to the studio. Once again, it's Citizens FM 93.7, and your host and presenter is Honorable Sam Atasio Oburu. My guest is no other than the legendary, the true born, the Northern King, Ado Sule, Administrative Director for the Nigeria National Cotton Association of Nigeria. He's head of admin. He's sitting in for his I won't call him his boss, his friend, because I've known them for over 40 years. His friend, Anibe Achimogu, who is incidentally is the president. He had to attend the 82nd convention of the International Cotton Association, so he was unavoidably absent. He sent in Ado Sule. Ado, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, let's hit the ground running. Ado, we had the president's broadcast today, but before we start, what's the cotton? What's cotton? First of all, what's the history of cotton in Nigeria? How did it all begin? When you say cotton, some people think it's just wearing cloths, the cotton cloth. Well, tell us about cotton.
Well, for those of us at our age brackets, I don't think it's something that you have to tell us, because we all know we're all alive when the cotton industry was booming, way back in the 50s and 60s, and even beyond them. So I know at that point, a lot of cotton production was going on, especially in the north. And there was also the chain value that was quite
the value chain, yeah.
Value chain that brought about the setting up of Ginneries, textile industries. I recall that at that period, we had over 200 textile industries with over 150 Ginneries, and the production of cotton was high to the extent that we were rated the highest producer of cotton in Africa. This thing succeeded because a lot of things were put in place. There was a lot of structures in place, like the commodity board that was there to regulate the industry, the market, to make sure that the farmers were well protected, and also the raw materials move to the right direction. And there was also a lot of government support. You remember then in times of Sedona, he gave a lot of financial support to that industry, as well as groundnut and other things. And so with all this in place, it was not too difficult for us to attain that feat as the Africa's
giant in cotton production and farming.
Yeah.
So now, talking about cotton production and farming, I think at a point in time, growing up, it was the king of all crops. As a matter of fact, it helped to Nigeria to have a strong naira and a strong GDP at the time. It contributed largely to the economic growth of the country at the time. But just before I take on the next question, before you answer that, I like Nigerians. If you're listening and you're with us, if you want to join us, it's an interactive program. You can call us. You can call in on 0903-222. That's 222-9797. I'll take it again. MTN 0903-222-29797. I read it again. 0903-222-9797. That's MTN. You can also join us on 0818 quadruple 2, that's 2222, a fifth 2 and 06. That's 0818 2222206. Those are numbers you can join us on, and subsequently I'm already wrote out the other numbers for you. But let me not bust your bubble, Mr. Sule. We're looking at, in the past, you said in the 60s, cotton was one of the cash crops that was regarded as a king of all crops, and subsequently they discovered oil at Oloibri, and then agriculture went to bunkers. We took a back seat. We heard the president broadcast today, and he has said that mechanized farming and subsequent stuff like that is going to be put in place to grow the economy again. The naira is falling. We need to get it back on stream. We need to do a whole lot of things to be able to reactivate the economy to be where it used to be, where it ought to be as a giant of Africa. What role can the cotton revolution play in achieving this for Nigeria going forward?
A lot, Sam.
Yes.
Because, like I said before, we have experienced this before. We saw that cotton contributed up to 25% of the GDP. You saw when we were rolling out almost $2 to $3 billion exports.
What did you say? Did you just say cotton contributed to almost 25% of the GDP at the time?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So we've seen this happen. It has happened before. It's not that we're starting it afresh. So, but if and thank God, the president has actually shown a lot of interest, and his government has shown a lot of interest in the cotton production. Like I recall, the vice president even called us for a meeting at his office and invited the International Cotton Advisory Commission to join us and rub minds on ways that we can get the cotton industry revitalized. And I think from the bottom language of the government, and if adopted, there's a possibility that we can actually farm within the next 3 years, farm up to 1 million hectares of seed cotton. And if you're able to farm at least 1 million hectares, an average hectare of cotton employs, in farming alone, employs about 10 people.
Okay.
So talk about 1 million, you do mathematics. Then before you now go to ginning, where the cotton is now processed and it's brought up to the lint value that is actually either meant for export or you feed it to the other value chain that is on the line.
Yes.
And so you see an average distillery alone, one distillery that has a capacity of about 60 metric tons of production can employ up to 200 to 300 people. In fact, on a very large note, large scale, because our distilleries now are not really up to date. We have, if you go to really good up-to-date distilleries in the world, they employ up to 1,000. So if the distillery industry itself is revamped, retooled.
What would it take to revamp the gin industry? Because I mean, like, let's be factual, let's be practical here. Let us look at the bane and see what we can do to elevate the position. What will it take to reactivate the gin industry?
Number one, the gin industries in Nigeria now, most of their machines are obsolete in the first place. So there's need for retooling. Retooling means that you have to upgrade the machines to automated machines. So it makes it production faster, easier, and all that, you know. And again, you know, another problem we have in this country is that we don't have standard when it comes to the value of our cotton internationally, based on the fact that we don't have what they call high volume instrument. Now, high volume instrument is a well-recognized standard machine that if you have it in place, it rates the value of your cotton. And once HIV, stamps the value of your cotton, it doesn't need to go through any process. Anywhere it goes in the world, it will be taken at its value. So it's discovered that most of the cottons that we export is linked to export. All are all discounted when it gets to the country.
No value.
No value.
Doesn't the Standard Organization of Nigeria, doesn't it have a role to play here? Do you have a synergy between the Cotton Association of Nigeria and the Standard Organization of Nigeria to be able to meet international standards that are required for exports?
There's supposed to be a synergy, but the facilities are not there for them to say, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing.
Have you had a meeting with them, how you people can work together?
We've been having several meetings with several agencies about this machine and all that. I know that the machine was available in...
You're saying the machine, that's one machine. You cannot have one machine for 200 million people.
Whatever it is, but this is the reality, and I believe that we have to look into this area.
So how do we move from where we are today to where we want to be tomorrow? What are the organizations? What do? We have to start hitting the nail on the head. No, but we're not going to be taking any others for granted anymore. No. Let's hit the nail on the head because Nigeria has to work. Nigeria must work because in my generation, I want to tell my children that we're able to do this, that to be able to pull Nigeria out of the quagmire. What do we begin to do now in terms of agriculture and the cotton revolution?
The first thing is the farming.
Farming, brilliant.
The farming. In the first place, because
having the land to farm, encouraging them,
and we can do farming in so many angles. There is a smallholder farmer. You will reach out to the rural area, reach out to the farmers in the rural area that have at least a hectare of farmland, which most of them have to farm, and we'll give them necessary financial support for them to be able to farm food and cotton and other food items for the country. And one thing again is that there's need for us to have the commodity, the board. Like we are advocating for a cotton textile garment forum.
Cotton textile garment forum.
Board. Cotton textile garment board.
Government board. Okay.
Now, if you have this kind of board in place, it will now serve the role of regulation, because if you don't have bodies in place that are regulating this, you can't even quantify your production.
Okay.
Not talk of even knowing what is going in or out, or even be able to control how the farmers treat the products and even create the market for the products. So that board has to be in place, and that also should apply to other.
So in other words, you're calling for the implementation you're calling on the government to quickly look into creating the Cotton Textile Garment Board.
Exactly. And it should be private driven.
It should be private driven.
It's not something that should be hijacked by the same government again, because they should allow the private sector to play its role because they are the experts.
You want it to be strictly private driven, or it should be a PPP thing? private
Yes,
and
of course.
government
There's nothing you
participating
can
in
do
it. Yes.
without government in Nigeria.
Yes, okay,
because,
yeah.
for example, now, even if you want to do the farm, you need the governors to give you land. You know, the government participation is always there. But when it comes to running the affairs, the government, right from the roots, from the start, the stakeholders have to be carried along. They have to be the ones that will tell the government, this is what we want, this is what we want to do, and the government should allow them to do the way they do it, because they are the ones that know the best way to achieve their aim.
Okay, we're going to take a break in a short while, but when we return, we're going to look at you're going to have to like educate Nigerians, sensitize them, enlighten them on what it takes to start cultivating cotton, what they need, what they need to do, where they need to go for it, and the necessary instruments and techniques that are needed to cultivate cotton. Because one of the bane that we're looking at is the fact that most people don't know where left from the right, what to do, how to do it, how to get cotton to come up. So on.
Together we keep climbing, leave the past behind. Meaning hope is shining, future's ours to find. Together we keep climbing, leave the past behind. La 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 la. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Well, once again, the numbers to reach us if you want to know more about cotton and cotton farming, because from what I've learned, there's big money in cotton. Big money in cotton. And exporting cotton will help us, will help you, will help me, will help the country generate a lot of... the value chain in cotton farming is enormous. So you should reach us on 0903 222, that's 222 9797, 081 0818 2222 205, 0818 222206. These are the numbers you can reach us if you want to speak with the executive director admin of the Cotton Association of Nigeria, who is still with us here in the studio, Ado Sule. He's a veteran in cotton production. Now, we're talking about what it will take to start a cotton business, cotton farming, how to start cotton farming, and what it will take to start a business. Let's say I'm a kindergarten dude. I just want to do something. I want to get into agriculture, and I need to get into cotton farming because I know that if I grow it and harvest it and process it and everything, I'll be able to make XYZ. I'll be able to contribute XYZ to the economy. I'll be able to make XYZ for myself and my family. I'm interested in cotton. What do I do? How do I start? Where do we start from the beginning?
First of all, I want to tell Nigerians that
yes,
we shouldn't be looking at cotton production very restricted to the north alone.
Okay.
There's we have National Cotton Association of Nigeria. It's an association that has branches in about 33 states of the federation.
What's your membership? How large is your membership? I'm very curious about that.
Last time I checked, it was about 200,000 plus.
You mean your membership is about 200,000 plus?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
So most of these parts, the only part of the country we can't grow cotton is maybe to states like Bayelsa, which is waterlogged. So it's not easy. But even the rivers, we have experimented. We have done a pilot program in a pilot farm in Rivers, in the northern part.
River State. The northern part. That's my area.
Yeah, where it grew excellently well.
Okay.
So all you just need is your farmland, because cotton doesn't really need too much money.
What kind of seedling? Where does one get the seedlings? How does one access the seedlings?
So
okay.
First of all, you have your farmland.
Okay.
If you have the farmland, you will now come to us, the association, and see how you can register as a member.
Okay.
Now, if you register as a member of National Cotton Association of Nigeria, then we will start the process of guiding you. Number one, we have sources where we can get seeds. Like we have MOUs with the Institute of Cultural Research, Zaria.
Okay.
We produce all sorts of seeds for cotton that suits in every respective geopolitical areas. And so I also know how we can source cottons for you from distilleries, because once you process cotton, the seeds are leftovers that is meant for replanting. Either you plant the seeds or you turn it to the oil industry, cooking oil industry for oil.
How do you mean? How do you turn it to oil here now?
That's you mill it.
You mill it,
Yes.
okay?
So it becomes cotton oil, and the remnants of that, the cake,
Okay.
can be used to feed the animals.
Are you for real?
Yeah, we were talking about the value chain.
Yes, that's right.
Not
Yeah.
even go further. So these are some of the places where areas where you can also set up a mill, an oil mill, where you get the seeds of cotton and turn it to oil, cooking oil.
Okay.
Yeah. So then once we get the seeds for you, and you're able to plant, we have professionals, extension agents that we have trained in agronomy and the best practices for the modern way practice of cultivating cotton, and they will come and give you some education. That's as a starter on how you go to visit your farm once in a while to see how you're doing and what you should apply and all that.
Is there any extension in the farming?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to explain.
Okay, all right, okay.
So once you do that, once you're able to get that kind of education, then you know how to go about your vegetation and your harvest. And once you get your harvest and you're fine, there are 3 harvests actually in cotton. The first harvest comes around, if you start, it comes around October, and the second harvest around end of October to November, which is the lump sum before you go to the final harvest. And the good thing is that whatever you've done, you should be rest assured that there's always an off-taker. Well, as it is, the gineries don't have enough raw materials as it is to process for export. So there's always a ginery that's hanging around the corner to pick up your cotton. And that's why it's good for you to be a member, so that you can have access to the market easily.
Okay. Now, talking about being a member, what does it take to be a member? What's the registration process like?
That's easy. Just come and you take your name and your...
When you say just come, where did we just come to?
We have our website.
You have it. What's your website?
Well, I don't have it offered yet.
Offered there. Okay, all right. But
Just Google National Cotton
Association of Nigeria. You get the website. You got all the information needed there. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay, and where's your office?
Our office, I think we are supposed to be neighbors, Sam.
No, I know so. I know your office, but you're not talking to me alone. You're talking to I don't know. You're talking to Nigerians who do not know. We're talking to Nigerians who are most probably watching in Timbuktu and everything.
Labour House.
Thank you very much.
Strong house of Nigeria, where the Labour operates. They're giving us a space, and we're using it in the central area.
The Labour House is made up of, I think, 13 floors or thereabouts.
We're in the 7th floor.
You're on the 7th floor. Okay. All right. Well, it's been nice speaking with you. I mean, I hope we're going to have to do more than this. I think the Nigerian Cotton Association needs to drive an awareness process. You need to reactivate awareness. Most Nigerians don't know jack about cotton. That's why I brought you here, actually. We need to start looking at other ways that we can grow the economy beyond oil. Oil, sooner than later, oil is going to go out of business. And then where are we going to be by that time? So with the earlier we started thinking out of the box on how we can grow and give strength, increase the mojo of the naira back again. You understand? Today we're seeing the naira at 1,700 naira to $1. That's not what it should be. When cotton was a king, when cotton was ruling the time, it was naira was pound for pound or dollar for dollar in the forex market. So we're running up the program right now because we just want to start small. This is our inaugural edition. I want to thank you for coming. I want to thank you so very much, because ordinarily I know you should be on the bed or chilling somewhere in your garden or by your poolside doing some jacking on pinon, relaxing with the lady, because today is Independence. No, relax with that. That's your wife. I mean, look at it. Let me give you an insight. The other day we were just coming out of church, and someone wanted to take a picture with my wife, and I said, "You want to take a picture with my babe, my chiquito?" I said, looked at me and said, "You're chiquito? You're pushing 60, and you're calling her?" I said, "Yeah, she's my chick, man." Anyway, on this note, my name is Tabatashe Bro. I hope you've been able to have a great time. I hope I've been able to educate you. I hope I've been able to enlighten you. I hope I've been able to turn your Independence Day on. This is what I know how to do best. I come correct or I don't come at all. Next week, it promises to be a very exciting time. Don't miss this program as the Renewed Hope Agenda, the Way Forward Radio on 93.7 Citizens Radio. Coming live to you from Abuja, and we're not done yet. We're just getting warmed up. The show is getting better and better. Stay tuned. Don't leave. Don't turn that dial. Citizen FM is the dial to be on. And just before I wrap it up, I'd like to say thank you to Kemi White Levi, that sent in the inspirational message. And I'd like to also answer the question on who designed the Nigerian flag. Since none of you called in or yet, I don't blame you. The program is the first edition with. By the time I do one more with you, you'll be on all of you will be on my case, man. Taiwo Akinwumi is the name. So I'm going to win that prize, and I'm going to, enjoy it myself. It's Independence Day, 64th anniversary. Let's go have 64 bottles of champagne. Thank you very much. I'm out of here.
The Renewed Hope Agenda for Nigeria is the brainchild of President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. It is geared towards renewing the hopes of Nigerians for a better future through its policies, projects, and programs that are aimed towards lifting the GDP and economic growth of the nation by improving standard of living of the average Nigerian. The Renewed Hope Agenda Radio is poised to promote all of the above